Welcome back once again to On Cue Billiards in the Mesa. It's a round 2 winner side match. This time I'm playing Nato Bobadilla. And a pretty good lag from both of us. I just about take that one, so I get to break. Race to 3 racks, as usual. And I'm going to come up dry. 10, interestingly, right by the corner pocket. And he's called the 8. Called the 8 ball in the side pocket, so he's attacking. I assume it's a combination. He's trying to just cut the 1 onto the 8. I tried the carom, and he left me a chance to carom or billiard this 10 ball in. I'll try and get the cue ball to go rail first. So picking a point on that short rail for the cue ball to bounce to kick the 10 ball in. That'll do. And it 10's down again straight away, along with the 8 ball. So the 10, of course, is respotted. And I'm looking at this one in the top left. I'm playing it with draw and right hand side to get over to that long rail on the top right and check back for the 2 in the side pocket. I think that right hand side kind of helps the pot a little bit as well. I'll just throw the 1 in. And that's come pretty decent, actually. It's a bit of a cut in, but if I play this with a bit of check side again, which is right hand side in this case, slightly below centre, bit of right hand side, kind of like soft, stunny draw thing into that short rail and then check back up for the 3 in the bottom left. And got a nice angle there, gone past the pocket line quite a bit, so it's a stun shot with left hand side to come 2 rails and out into the middle of the table, a little bit further up from where I am now. So just a stun, not a draw shot, stun and left. And this is looking good. Can just do a little gentle draw back to get almost straight on the 5. And then just wait a second, check out what do you want to do with that 6. Where do you want to be exactly? Okay, and now set that. Just draw back a few inches. Yeah, it's a nice angle. It's going to take me off 2 rails. And behind the 7, or I'm going to cannon the 7. I'd like to find that gap if I could, but that's asking a lot. Or is it? Look at this. That's absolutely perfect. Just checking what angle I need on the 9. And actually, I've drawn inside that 9 a little bit. I want it to be slightly the other side so I could use the rail. So now it's about speed control. You've got to draw this in and you're going across the line of the shot, so there's a small margin of error. And I've slightly overhit that. Not a total disaster. I can still cut this in without fear of a scratch. And that's the break and run. Very nice. 2-0. And what's the story here? Can't actually see the one, I don't think. I think that 7 is in the way. It's a bit tricky, this one. You're going to push out. Where do you want to push out to? I'm thinking I could push out towards this bottom left-hand corner pocket. There is a position, if I could get him on the left-hand jaw of the long rail, in that corner, where he couldn't make the 1 onto the 9. Or I could just try and settle for getting the cue ball hard on the short rail somewhere down there, leave him a chance to get the 1-9. Hopefully make it very difficult with the cue ball on the rail. Well, that's a little bit hard. And a bit more comfortable for him to play this. He's calling the 9. Well, what's he left here? I think there's a chance to jack up and do a kind of like a draw shot and try and make that 1 in the bottom right and control the cue ball behind the 2. It's kind of a two-way shot. Just a little bit too thick. Got the cover though. Could be taking the short stick out here. Yes, here we go. A big part of any pool player's arsenal now is the jump cue. A really good hit, but unfortunately couldn't make the pot, and he's put the 6 in, so I have the option, but I think I shall be taking this on. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to thin edge this one. Cut it so very, very fine it doesn't reach the centre pocket. And the cue ball will drift over to the right and then come back, hopefully, behind the 10 and the 2. Very, very thin. And that should be cover. Possibly you can get it direct. You may just have to go rail first. You know it's tight when they start bending over like that. Oh dear. He was trying to make it in the corner and hold the cue ball out, but just caught too much of the one and scratched. So the 9's just in the way of the wired 1-10 combination. And this is a bit tight into the side pocket, but I'm going to play it as a bit of a two-way. That's the idea, try and hold one cue ball behind 10, but the 1 has come across. And if I've covered up the potting angle on that, I've been very fortunate. Oh, beautiful shot. Control the cue ball very nicely. Got great shape here. Issue 3 to the 4. I'm not sure it can go past the 5 into the side. So, does it pass the 9? So you may need to try and get on it into one of the bottom pockets. It rattles the 2 a little bit when it drops. He's got a nice angle on this 3 now to get cue ball above the 4. Just checking, does it pass? Does it pass the 5? We shall soon see. And he's played into it, and that's very unfortunate. He's called the kick. Gonna put the 4 in the side pocket. My previous opponent, Lewis Abarca, had a very similar kick against me, which he was successful in. Is lightning gonna strike twice? Beautiful kick there from Nate. Very nice indeed. Shape for the 5. If you can just control the cue ball here for the 7, you should be looking at 2-1. I think I just draw this directly to the long rail myself. Find the gap between the 7 and the rail and get the cue ball out into the table. You've got the shot in the side pocket or even in the corner past the 9. If you roll forward, you are colliding with it. And trusting a bit to luck as to where it finishes, but he's done well. He's just nudged it down towards the pocket, so the pathway is now clear to completing the run out. And you just want to play this with the correct speed to get yourself on the unmissable 10. That's what you want, the dead straight 10 ball. And he's overhit that a little bit. You call this the 50-yard line. It's a tester for sure. Goes the corner. You've got to trust your decisions here, to your alignment, your stroke. Get through the ball nicely. There it is, beautiful 10 ball. So Nate is 2-1 behind and will be breaking in rack 4. And the 8 ball drops at the last roll of the ball. So he's got a cut here. And it will take the cue ball back up the table towards the 2. Depending on how slowly he wants to roll the 1 ball. You're going to let your stroke out, you're playing for the 2 in the bottom left. If you try and just do a nice baby shot, roll it, you might be playing for it in the side. Well, he did just roll it, and he's got a shot at the 2, but he's tree-topped over the 5 ball. That's not easy. And were he to be able to make it by some miracle potted, that chances of getting on the 3 are pretty remote. Where that's positioned. He calls the corner. So he's jacked up quite high here. And what a shot that is. A cracking pot. Didn't get its just desserts. He's hooked here. He's going to have to kick at this. Yeah, somewhere there. It's not far off. And he just caught it thin. I think he's left it on. And I can see enough of it to play with top and left. Catch that long rail and then come round off the short rail for the 4. And I'm saying to myself, I want to try and get past the pocket line on the right hand side for the ideal natural shot from the 5 to the 6. But it means moving the cue ball quite a bit here. So I'm a bit flat on this 5. I think once again I can push it in and play with top and left and run round the angle and get over to the left hand side of the table. So I'm going to finish on the rail, dead straight. I can just draw back 2 inches and have just enough of an angle to roll forward and get on the 9. It's not the ideal angle, I decide. And so the way I want to play this is slightly jacked up. Because this angle, I don't like it. I want to strike down a little bit and try and get the cue ball off the short rail and then back up for the 9. I've missed the 7. And just as well if it had gone in, I would have been in a terrible hook anyway. I'm quite fortunate, that's not a bad leave considering I missed a relatively easy ball. Certainly not left him anything easy. There's a thin cut, a tough cut to play off both short rails and get back up for the 9. He's called the corner. He's attacking. Just cut it a bit thick. And it's going to dress up. It's available. It's almost straight. Almost, but not quite. So there is a line you could draw back, but you'd be bringing the cue ball slightly more into the centre of the table, making the 9 a thinner cut. You could also just try and follow forward, play off the short rail and come back up, or back down the table towards the 10, and leave yourself a similar type of cut, maybe not quite as steep. So I think that's what I'm going to do, just follow forward, try and get as flat as possible on the 9 in the same pocket. So it's a chance, but I've got to play with left and try and run round off 3 rails. And I think I played this a little bit hurriedly and wasn't quite set. It's not a very good execution. Hence I missed it, and I got quite fortunate really to have left it quite tough. I could have left a lot easier for Nato than this. It's not really a viable cut. You can take on the bank if you want, but I don't know what the exact percentages are on making it versus not. It's a safety. Trying to get the cue ball behind the 10, I think. But the 9's gone past the centre. You could cut this in. Or you could play the double, or the bank I should say, in the corner bottom bottom right corner. So for this little break in play, there's a slight disturbance in the background, something, a distraction on the next table. Yeah, I'm going to play the corner pocket bank after all. Place a follow forward with left. And how's your luck? Once again, it's not gone easy for Nato. Okay, he's got a hole in the corner. And it's there. How's your cue ball? Well, does he have a bank? Seems slightly off the angle. Yep, he's calling the bank. To draw this in with a lot of power to straighten out that angle. But where's the cue ball? And so Nate concedes. Thanks for watching, folks. More matches coming soon.